YouTubers, as promised. Next reading in the reread Very Series book series. I please fucking watch my videos. I hate getting the people watch the video and then unwatch it and then the views go away. Please watch the video and give more views. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. Anyway, Toby the Tram Engine. Toby and the Stout Gentleman. Toby is a tram engine. He's short and sturdy. He has cow catches and side plates, and doesn't look like a steam engine at all. He takes trucks from farms and factories to the main line. And the big engines take them to London and elsewhere. His little tramway runs along and through fields and villages. Toby rings his bell cheerfully to everyone he meets. His goat's called Henrietta, but has seen better days. She complains because she has few passengers. Toby is attached to Henrietta and always takes her with him. She might be useful one day, he says. It's not fair at all, grumbles Henrietta as buses board past full of passengers. She remembers that she used to be full, and 9 trucks will rattle behind her. And now there was only 3 or 4. For the farms and factories, send their goods, mostly by lorry. Toby is always careful on the road. The cars and buses and lorries often have accidents. Toby hasn't had an accident for years, but the buses are crowded and Henrietta's empty. I can't stand it, says Toby the Tram Engine. People come to see Toby, but they come by bus. They stare at him. Isn't he quaint, they say, and laugh. They make him so cross. One day a car stopped close by, and a little boy jumped out. Come on, Bridget, he called to his sister. And together they ran across to Toby. 2 ladies and a stout gentleman followed. The gentleman looked important but nice. The children ran back. Come on, grandfather, do look at this engine. And seizing his hands, they almost dragged him along. There's a tram engine, Stephen, said the stout gentleman. Is it electric? Asked Bridget. Whoosh, hissed Toby crossly. Shh, shh, said her brother. You offended him. Now trams are electric, aren't they? They are mostly, the stout gentleman answered, but this is a steam tram. May we go in, grandfather, please? The car had begun to blow his whistle. Stop, said the stout gentleman, and raised his hand. The guard, surprised, opened his mouth and the whistle fell out. While he was picking it up, they all scrambled into Henrietta. Hip hip hooray, chanted Henrietta. She rattled happily behind. Toby did not sing. Electric indeed. Electric indeed, he snorted. He was very hurt. The stout gentleman and his family got out of the junction and waited for Toby to take them back to his car. What's your name? Asked the gentleman. Toby, sir. Thank you, Toby, for a very nice ride. Thank you, sir, said Toby quietly. He felt better now. This gentleman, he thought, is a gentleman who knows how to speak to Indians. The gentleman came every day for a fortnight. Sometimes they rode with the guard, sometimes in empty trucks. And the last day of all, the driver brought them into his cab. Oh, we're sorry when they had to go away. Stephen and Bridget said thank you to Toby, his driver, fireman, and the guard. Sound gentlemen, keep them all day present. Beep, 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 whistled Toby. Come again soon. We will, called the children. And they waited till Toby was out of sight. The months passed. Toby had few trucks and fewer passengers. Our last day, Toby, said the driver sadly one morning. Commander says we must close tomorrow. That day, Henrietta had more passengers than she could manage. They rode in the trucks and crowded into the big van. And the guard had enough tickets to go around. The passengers joked and sang. But Toby and his driver wished they wouldn't. Goodbye, Toby, said the passengers afterwards. We are sorry your line is closing down. So am I, said Toby sadly. The last passenger left the station. And Toby puffed slowly to his shed. Nobody wants me, he thought. And he went unhappily to sleep. The next morning the shed was flung open, and he woke with a start to see his fireman dancing a jig outside. His driver, excited, ate a piece of paper. Pick up, Toby, they shouted. Listen to this. It's a letter from the stout gentleman. And Toby listened, but I wasn't saying anymore. I shall spoil the next story. Yeah. Tom is in trouble. There's a line to a quarry in Thomas's branch. It goes for some distance along the road. Thomas was always careful, in case anyone was coming. Beep, 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 he whistled. Then the people got out of the way, and he puffed slowly with his trucks, rumbling behind him. Early one morning, there was no one on the road, but a large policeman was sitting on the grass close to the line. It was shaking. A stone from his boot. Thomas liked policemen. He had been a great friend of the constable who used to live in the village, but he just retired. Thomas expected that the new constable would be friendly too. Beep, beep. He whistled good morning. The policeman jumped and dropped his boot. He scrambled up and hopped around on one leg to reach facing Thomas. Thomas was sorry to see and he didn't look friendly at all. He was red in the face and very cross. The policeman hobbled about, trying to keep his balance. Disgraceful, he spluttered. I didn't sleep a wink last night. It was so quiet. And now engines come whistling suddenly behind me. My first day in the country, too. He picked up his boot and hobbled over to Thomas. I'm sorry, sir, said Thomas. I only said good morning. The policeman grunted and leaned against his buffer and he put his boot on. He drew himself up and pointed to Thomas. Where's your cow catcher? He asked accusingly. I don't catch cows, sir. Don't be funny, snapped the policeman. He lifted Thomas's wheels. No slide plates either. He wrote in his notebook. Engines going on public roads must have their wheels covered and a cow catcher in front. You haven't, so you are dangerous to the public. Rubbish, said his driver. We've been alone here hundreds of times. Never had an accident. That makes it worse, the policeman answered. He wrote, regular lawbreaker in his book. Thomas puffed sadly away. The factual was having breakfast. He was eating toast and marmalade. He had the newspaper open in front of him. His wife had just given him some more coffee. Coffee! Ugh. The butler knocked and came in. Excuse me, sir. You are wanted on the telephone. Bother that telephone, said the fat controller. I'm sorry, my lady, he said a few minutes later. Thomason's in trouble with the police, and I must go at once. He gulped down his coffee and hurried from the room. At the junction, Thomas's driver told the fat controller what had happened. Danger to the public, indeed. We'll see about that. And climbed grimly into Annie in the coach. The policeman was on the platform at the other end. The fat controller spoke to him at once. The crowd collected to listen. Another policeman came to see what was happening, and the fat controller argued with them, but it was no good. The law is the law, they said. We can't change it. The fat controller felt exhausted. He mopped his face. I'm sorry, driver, he said. So, it's no use arguing with the policeman. You will have to make those cow catcher things for Thomas, I suppose. Everyone will laugh, sir, said Thomas sadly. They'll say I look like a tram. The fat controller stared. Then he laughed. Well done, Thomas. Why didn't I think of it before? We want the tram engine. When I was on my holiday, I met a nice little engine called Toby. He hasn't enough work to do and needs a change. I'll write to his controller at once. A few days later, Toby arrived. That's a good engine, said the fat controller. I see you brought Henrietta. You don't mind, do you, sir? Sir, said Toby anxiously. The station master wanted to use her as a hen house, and that will never do. No, indeed, said the fat controller gravely. We couldn't allow that. Toby made the trucks behave even better than Thomas did. At first, Thomas was jealous, but he was so pleased when Toby rang his bell and made the policeman jump, and they've been firm friends ever since. Dirty objects. Toby and Henrietta take the workmen to the quarry every morning. At the junction, they often meet James. Toby and Henrietta was shabby when they first came and needed new paint. James was very rude. Ugh! A dirty objects, he would say. At last, Toby lost patience. James? Yes, what are you at? I'm a splendid engine, answered James loftily. If anything, you never seen my paint dirty. Oh, said Toby innocently. That's why you want to see bootlaces to be ready, I suppose. James went redder than ever and started off. The end of the line, James left his coaches and got ready for the next train. It was a slow good, stopping at every station to pick up and set down trucks. James hated slow goods trains. Dirty optics and dirty signs. Ugh! He grumbled. Starting with only a few, he picked up more and more trucks at each station, till he had a long train. At first, the trucks behaved well, but James spoke them so crossly that they determined to pay him out. Hansley and rumbling over the viaduct, they was the top of Gordon's Hill. Every goods train halted here to fit down their brakes. James had an accident with trucks before and should have remembered this. Wait, James, wait, said his driver. But James wouldn't wait. He was too busy thinking what he would say to Toby when they next met. Too late. He saw where he was and tried to stop. Hurrah, 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 laughed the trucks, and banging their buffers, they pushed him down the hill. The guard tightened his brakes till they screamed. On, yelled the trucks. I got to stop, groaned James. And tightening his brakes, he managed to drive the trucks mad and rough, but they were still going much too fast to stop in time. Through the station they thundered and lurched into the yard. James shut his eyes. There was a bursting crash, and something sticky splashed all over him. He had run into two tar wagons and splashed from smallpox to cab. James was more dirty than hurt, but the tar wagons and trucks were all to pieces. The breakdown train was in the yard, and they soon tidied up the mess. Toby and Percy were sent to help, and came as quickly as they could. Look here, Percy, explained Toby. Whatever it is that dirty object, that's James, didn't you know? It's James' sheep, said Toby thoughtfully, but James is a splendid red engine. And you'll notice he is paint dirty. James shut his eyes and pretended he hadn't heard. They cleared away the unheard trucks and helped James home. The patrol met them. Well done, Percy and Toby, he said. He turned to James. Presently letting your trucks run away. I am surprised. You're not fit to be seen. You must be cleaned at once. Toby should have a new coat of paint. Chocolate and blue, I think. Please, sir, can Henrietta have one too? Certainly, Toby smiled. She shall have brown like Annie Clarabelle. Oh, thank you, sir. She will be pleased. Toby ran home happily to tell her the news. Mrs. Kindly's Christmas. It was nearly Christmas. Annie Clarabelle were packed full of passengers and parcels. Thomas was having very hard work. Come on, he puffed. I'm feeling so full, grumbled the coaches. Thomas looked at the hill ahead. Can I do it? He puffed anxiously. Suddenly he saw a handkerchief waving from the cottage window. Felt better at once. Yes, I can. He puffed barely. He pulled his hardest and was soon through the tunnel and resting in the station. That was Mrs. Kindly who waved to you, Thomas, the driver told him. She hasn't stayed in bed all day. Poor lady, said Thomas. I am sorry for her. Engines have heavy loads at Christmas time, but Thomas and Toby didn't mind the hard work. When they saw Mrs. Huntley waving. But then it began to rain. It rained for days and days. Thomas didn't like it, nor did his driver. Off we go, Thomas, he would say. Pull hard and get home quickly. Mrs. Connolly won't wave today. But whether she waved or not, they always whistled when they passed the lonely little cottage. White walls stood out against the dark background of the hills. Hello? Explained Thomas's driver one day. Look at that. The driver came across the cab. Something's wrong there, he said. Rain and flapping and Bet wrangled from the window of the couch was something that looked like a very large red flag. Mrs. Connolly needs help, I expect, said the driver, and put on the brakes. Thomas gently stopped. The car came squelching through the rain up to Thomas's cab. Then the driver pointed to the flag. See if the doctor's on the train and ask him to go to the cottage. Then walk back to the station and tell him we stopped. The fireman went to see if the line was clear and fun. Two passengers left the cottage and two passengers left the train and climbed to the cottage. Then the fireman returned. We'll back down to the station, the driver said, so that Thomas can get a good start. We shan't get up the hill, the fireman answered. Come see what happened. They left along the line and ran the bend. Journey Christmas, exclaimed the driver. Go back to the train. I'm going to the cottage. He found the doctor with Mrs. Connolly. Silly of me to faint, she said. You saw the red dressing gown. You're all safe? Asked Mrs. Connolly. Yes, smiled the driver. I have come to thank you. There was a landslide in the cutting, doctor, and Mrs. Connolly saw it from her window and stopped us. She saved our lives. God bless you, ma'am, said the driver and tiptoed from the room. They cleared the line by Christmas Day, and the sun shone as a special train pulled up from the junction. First came Toby, then Thomas with Annie Clarabelle, and last of all, the right place of being allowed to come was Henrietta. The Fat Controller was there, and lots of other people who wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Connolly. Pip, pip, beep, beep. Happy Christmas, whistled the engines. They reached the place, and people got out and climbed to the cottage. Thomas and Toby wished they could go too. Mrs. Connolly's husband met them at the door. The Fat Controller, Johnson's driver, fireman, and guard went upstairs, while the others stood in the sunshine below the window. The driver gave her a new dressing gown and replaced the one spoiled by the rain. The guard brought him some grapes, and the fireman gave her some lily slippers, and promised to bring some coal to President from Thomas next time they passed. Yeah. Mrs. Connolly was very pleased with her presents. You are very good to me, she said. The passengers and I, said the Fat Controller, hope you accept these tickets for the South Coast, Mrs. Connolly, and get really well in the sunshine. We can't thank you enough for preventing that accident. I hope we haven't tired you. Goodbye and Happy Christmas. Then, going quietly downstairs, they joined the group outside the window and sang some carols before returning to the train. Miss Skyline's out at Bournemouth, getting better every day. And Thomas and Toby are looking forward to when they can welcome her home. The end. Thank you so much for watching, and please watch this video. Thank you. Have a good day.